Hello everybody, welcome back to Hidden Harvest. Today we're going to be working on making some potting soil for the seeds I'm fixing to start. So let's go ahead and get all the resources that we need, and I'll show you how it is that I'm mixing these up. I'm not a professional, so consult a professional before you mix up your own seed starting mix. We have general purpose potting soil that is quite a bit thick. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some stuff to splice this with. Some cocoa coir. I think that's what I've got. Find out. We've got peat moss that I am just going to add in dry because this soil is very, very moist. Then I have got some worm castings. Healthy mixture of that. Then we've got organic natural handcrafted blend fertilizer. It's got mycorrhizae in it, which is always a fun word to say. I'm going to add in quite a bit more perlite. Let's get this stuff mixed up and see how moist it is after we're done. I'm also going to be keeping my eyes out for chunky soil. See if it needs to be sifted. At the very least, pull out some of those things. It's pretty good on the moisture content. Okie dokie. Now I've got all of my pots. I don't think we're going to have enough for everything that I want to early start this year, but we're just going to start filling pots and see how far we get. Just make sure I've got all the soil and it goes all the way down to the bottom without compressing it too much. I'm going to start with these small ones. I think I'm going to save my bigger ones for like the tomatoes and the peppers, and all of these small ones for like my bunching onions. Well, my bunching onions will probably go on a different one, but mostly my herbs and flowers need to go in here inside these little small ones. What I'm doing is just tapping this stuff down. I'm not trying to pack it in. I'm just trying to make sure the soil goes all the way to the bottom and it's not recessed. Definitely not packing it in. It's 2 trays. I'm going to try and save these guys right here just for the tomatoes and put my peppers in individual cups. Because the peppers are going to have to sit longer. They don't need to go in the soil until much, much later. They take a long time to grow. And the tomatoes we won't be planting for probably 2 more weeks. In the beginning part of March. Because we can't plant out in the garden until the end of March. Possibly the beginning of April. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure exactly how other people judge the passing of their seasons and stuff, but around here, you guys let me know if you have the same kind of thing that happens where you guys are at. We have our last frost date, which is kind of a good iffy guide. But we also have what I would refer to as the best way to tell when we're going to get our last frost. What I typically do is come February, we start getting our 70 degrees and stuff like that for a couple of weeks, and things start blooming up. Tulips start coming up. Trees start budding out. It's the false start of the spring every single year. And typically, I will say we're not done with our winter until after Easter, because there's usually one more frost before Easter. Of course, Easter is way early this year, so I'm kind of confused about how it's going to work this year. Okay, those guys are done. I may also want to start my eggplant in here too, huh? Now, the good news is since I put a fertilizer in here, a granular fertilizer, plus some worm castings, I shouldn't have to fertilize these guys when they first come up. They should be good for a little while. And hopefully by then it will be planting season before I have to do that. I might have to give them 1 feeding. If we're going by Easter this year, which I looked it up, it's going to be the end of March, which is also our last frost date. Which means an early spring. It's got me worried that the garden may not be done in time. The way that we've got it planned and how it's working and the speed at which things are kind of going, we might just get it done in time. We might actually have enough potting soil left for me to fill up the cups for the peppers today. I was kind of worried about that. I was like, I'll get everything else done. If I have to, I'll go back and get some more soil for the peppers. So I would really prefer to put them in a bigger pot. They'll take a long time to grow. but it should stop them from getting stressed before they're ready to go out. There we go. Last one. In that case, let me go find those cups. Got those for the peppers. These, not sure. That one I did not realize was chewed on. Thank you, Leah. Okay, it's not many more plotting places, but it is some. I do have a lot of plants I want to early start this year. Just depends on whether or not we get like a freak late frost. I will definitely not be putting my tomatoes or my peppers out until I'm absolutely sure. So probably not until, I don't know, April. Mid-April is usually when I aim for. Which means these babies will be primed and ready. Since I'm not starting them in a sunroom, or I'm not starting them inside a under grow lights. They're going to go inside a greenhouse. It'll take them longer to... I'll wait. If I was growing under sun lamps or something like that, inside a warm room or whatever, I would be waiting, I don't know, a good 2 more weeks before starting anything. But since I'm going to be starting inside a greenhouse, and there's not going to be any supplemental heat going on, I'm going to go ahead and get them started because it will take longer for them to germinate. At least the peppers and stuff, they'll take a while to germinate. It'll be whenever we get our first a couple of days in a row of 60s and 70s, because it'll make it feel like 65 or 70 inside the greenhouse-ish. So hopefully by then it will be the proper amount of time for these guys. I've got so many different types of plants that are going to go in this year. I have got trellises that need to go up. Thinking about putting the loofahs in the back corner on a trellis, because those are going to sprout. They're going to grow up, and we're not going to mess with them until after they've basically dried. That's when you use the loofahs, after it's dried. So those will just be sitting there doing their own thing towards the back of the garden, occasionally getting watered, that kind of thing. And back around that corner, there's quite a bit more shade that happens. So I'm thinking I might be able to manage to get some spinach and stuff like that, and cilantro to grow in that back corner where there's some extra shade. They don't stay as sunny. Getting down to the last little bit of it here. And let's see. I'm thinking the front trellis, cherry tomatoes, maybe. Middle trellis, maybe some beans. Next trellis, some indeterminate tomatoes, beefsteak variety possibly. Most of them are going to have either beans or tomatoes. One is going to have my honey nut squash. I don't know which one. I'm not putting these back on top of the strawberries. I've got some straw for the strawberries. But I'm trying to let the strawberries get situated before I put any straw on top of them. So I think I've got a couple of days at least. I still have a bit of dirt in here. I don't want to... It's not like I would be wasting it, but... I'm trying to think if I've got anything else I could go ahead and put it in. I am growing some bunching onions. Those would probably be good inside these containers too, but I do have other containers. They're just really deep for onions. I don't know. What I could do is I am trying to grow, I think, 1 or 2 beefsteaks. I could put a beefsteak in here and not fill it all the way up, just wait for it to grow. And after it gets so high up, backfill it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize. I thought I was talking to you guys this whole time. Apparently I've been in my greenhouse talking to myself. I've just been sitting here piddling through seeds. Occasionally, you know, talking about this, that, or the other whenever it came to certain seeds. I have already done the hyssop, the tarragon, sage, oregano, epazote, I'm not sure if you pronounce the E at the end, thyme, basil, rosemary, dill, artichokes, cumin, celery, and kohlrabi, alien eggs. Pretty sure that's what those things are. I've gotten all of those guys taken care of. What I'm doing is all the ones who've got a decent depth on them, I'm putting some perlite over the top of them to help keep, like, what are they called? Those gnats, the fungus gnats or whatever. It's to keep the fungus gnats from like being very interested in the plants. Sadly, there are a few of them that need to be surface sown, like the celery needs to be surface sown. So may the odds be ever in your favor. We are going to do hybrid peppers. That's basically what these guys are, and I'm not sure that I need very many bell peppers. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them in here, because should everything sprout, there's a good chance I can just give these peppers to somebody, or separate them, space them out in case one of my other peppers do not survive. I'll have these as backup. And because we're starting these guys in a unheated greenhouse, chances are they won't sprout anytime soon. It'll be, let's see, their normal sprout time is 10 to 21 days. It'll probably be on the long end of that. Those guys are done. Now we've got the Italian. I definitely want a couple of those, but do I start them in these? I've got these 6 cells right here, but I think I'm gonna use these for like tomatoes, or the 4 cells for tomatoes, because I want a lot of tomatoes. Not really sure. I know I want more of those though. Let's come back to the poblano. I probably want an extra of as well. Oh, these echinaceas. Hang on. Dwarf blend. Did you have any specialty stuff? Okay, these I may want to start a whole tray of. That way I've got several echinaceas. Okay, how about the depth? 1/4. Okay. I would like a lot of flowers this year in several different places. So, oh, tiny seeds, tiny seeds. Okay, gotcha. What I'll do is put 1 per cell. That only leaves me a few more, but what I can do is, since this is a perennial, right? Yeah, it's a perennial. What I can do is start some more of these later on. Like after I can get these guys out, I'll start some more inside the same container. So we can get some perennial flowers going on and get a whole bunch of awesome bugs. There's no better way of saying it. Bugs. What else? We've got all these snapdragons. What about the savory? Needs light. Lemon balm needs light. I need to put a whole bunch of these needs light together. I've also got these eggplants. How many did I have? 2? Was it 2 eggplants? Hang on. I think I just had 2 varieties of eggplants. Oh, there's some more bell peppers. I really think that's double of what I had before. I might have accidentally pulled 2 seeds. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what eggplant tastes like. So, what I'm going to do is just start 2 plants. I'll put a couple of seeds of each, and we'll grow it and we'll try it. I'm pretty sure most of these plants, I should probably, instead of giving space in my garden to it, try the stuff from the store to see if I at least like it, but there's so many times you go to the store and it's like, oh, these plants definitely don't taste like this in real life. All of those eggplants, and these ones right here are the covered eggplants, so I'm not sure how well they're going to do. I don't know why I pulled both packages. There's no way I'm going to use both packages. Even if I used all of the seeds in one package, I wouldn't use both packages. We'll put quite a few seeds in each, because they've got that clay stuff on the top of them that makes them easier to see, which also probably makes them not live as long. They're not viable as long. I feel like the ones that I know I'm going to want a lot for making sauces, I need to do more than one. The bell peppers are nice and everything, but I don't think I will need any more than 1 of each of the bell peppers, just because I want some different ones. These guys, on the other hand, and the poblanos, I might want more of because I'm planning on using those for stuff, so I feel like I want to start more than that. Let's go with these. I don't know if I've tried these before. I know I've tried banana peppers. This says mildly hot, and it's an Italian pepperonoci. I don't know how to say that, but it looks like a banana pepper to me. And this is another one of those seeds from the package that people gave me, so you know what? We're just gonna roll with it. And maybe I will have found my favorite flavor, you know? 'Cause I would really like some extra peppers this year. Last year I got enough to last in the freezer just a couple of months, but I tried really hard to stretch it out for as long as possible on these. Banana peppers are some of my favorite peppers. They're pretty mild. You can add them to just about anything. There we go. Those are going to be good. The poblanos, I've heard great things about them, and I'm thinking those are probably going to be the same time. They're mildly hot, and people use them a whole lot in cooking. And I think this is going to definitely amp up a whole lot of my food too. Namely, like putting a meatloaf type of thing inside of it. I think that would be really, really good. So there's that. And then I've got a Thai blend and some jalapenos. Not sure how many of each of those I will need. And if they're spicy enough for me, I might actually add those to some hot sauces and stuff too. Poblanos are done. Okay, and then we are at borage. Where's the Thai peppers at? Oh, we also have these, which are a container variety. I haven't tried these either. They look mighty spicy. It'd be cool if it says medium hot. I'm not sure what their idea of medium hot is. I'm very excited to try some of these peppers. I'm wanting to find some more varieties that I really like. Okay, and these guys I'm definitely going to put in here because I may or may not need these. And the reason I say that is because my overwintered peppers are still doing pretty good. My bell peppers, so they will produce probably more and faster than these will. But these are like a container variety, I think. And they are minis, which means I should be able to get them faster. There we go. And of course, these guys are covered in something. I'm not sure exactly what these guys are covered in, but it says the coated seeds increase oxygen penetration availability, easier handling, accurate spacing, and better field visibility, which might be the case, but of course it makes it where the seeds aren't as viable as long. So I don't mind overplanting these a little bit. We'll see what comes up, and if they come up well enough, I might divide them out into separate containers, we'll just see. Oh, and the jalapeno, the humble jalapeno. Oh, and we have a carnival blend, I forgot about those. Way too many bell peppers for one person, I think. It's fine though. I am pretty sure I can find somebody who wouldn't mind having their own bell pepper plant. And we'll pick the best one out and then divide them from there as soon as they get big enough. Okay, and then the jalapenos we're definitely putting over here because we are making hot sauce this year. And these are supposed to be an early jalapeno. I'm not sure exactly why. They can emerge 10 to 21 days and are at, oh, this is like a container variety, container friendly. Interesting. I don't know. We'll find out. It says 72 to 75 days to harvest. Of course, that's after, you know, it finally emerges. I was supposed to say hatched. Seeds don't hatch. They might, but they shouldn't. The kohlrabi, we'll watch that and see whether or not that hatches. I'm pretty sure that's an alien. There we go. Jalapenos. That should be all of the peppers, I think. We're down to herbs and flowers. Okay, now then. A lot of these flowers, I do want more than one plant of, especially the perennials. Alright, this was an annual. I don't know, I feel like I do one tray. Let's see. Alright, and this one needs to be surface sown. So I'll just close in these holes. We'll press it into the soil. Not you, you're not a soil, you're a stick. Stop hiding. And these are the Mexican sunflowers. They are absolutely gorgeous. And what I can do so that I get blooms at slightly different times is these will go out early and I'll start some more later on. It did say surface sow, so I'm going to lightly put some perlite in here just to hold the seeds where they are, but make sure that I leave them plenty of light. Just very, very lightly. Very, very light. And hopefully that's not too deep. I just don't like the idea of them just getting blown out and into a different area. Alright, what have we got left? So we do have some bunching onions. You know, I could probably just sow those into these. I'm sitting here thinking I'll use these for the tomatoes, but I think 4 of each one of the tomatoes that I'm going to try and grow are more than enough. I also need to leave some of these for the plants that also have to be planted out later on, so I think we're going to be fine. Let's just do a row of each of these. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a few seeds, quite a few seeds in here. And once they grow up, we'll thin them and plant them out in the garden. One of them is a Tokyo Long, and this is an evergreen bunching. There we go. Just tap some soil over the top of it, and we're going to put some perlite on this as well. There we go. There's those onions. Oh, we're getting our way through here. Do I have a Sweet Crispy hybrid already? I feel like I already do. Yes, I do. There's 2 of these. Here, have an extra stick. Just in case I need it later. Here's a Sunbright. I already have a Sunbright. I did 2 of those. What about California Wonders? I do not think I have one of those. Let's go ahead and get that in one. Find out what grows better. I mean, at the very least, having this many different types of peppers, even just this many different types of bell peppers, I might find one that comes out sweeter on a regular basis and just grows better in our area. I don't know why I didn't put any perlite on this one. Alright, are we done with everything but a couple of the flowers and the herbs? I think so. Okay, all of these have got like specialty things that they need done for them. And I'm going to try and put them in containers that are similar to each other. This one needs light. And this is a perennial. It's a tender perennial too. It needs full sun to partial shade. Milkweed. Alright, if you're a perennial... Alright, we're going to start with just a couple of each of these. These guys need light in order to germinate, so I cannot cover these guys at all. Okay, borage needs dark. Stevia has low germination. I'll wait on that one right quick. Snapdragons need light, though I'll admit to wanting a whole thing of snapdragons. I also have one that is, I've got snapdragons that are like a blend, and then I've got some that are night and day, and they're like a red one, which is also quite a beautiful flower, so that one is also one that I probably want a full tray of. And same goes for these. I'm pretty sure this one also calls for freezing for 48 hours. If these do not germinate at all, I will go back and try them again. It does mean it'll probably be like a fall planting, which I think these are perennials, so you can do a fall planting. I could be wrong. Needs light, feverfew, yeah. These are another beautiful one, and also a perennial. Just lightly tap them straight onto the surface of the soil and hope they don't go anywhere. No running away, please. Lemon balm, you also need light. I haven't actually tried this. Do I want a full thing of it? I don't think I do. We'll give it a try. I haven't actually tried this herb. It's supposed to be really good for making summer teas and stuff for, so... Okay, just press it into the soil surface. There we go. I almost have a full tray for the ones that I'm supposed to start in 2 weeks, which is pretty cool. Let's see, borage needs darkness, and I want a whole tray of borage. And this one it's slow to germinate, and it has a low germination rate, and we're supposed to be patient and over-sow this one. So we may want to do a tray of this one. Alright, this one needs light. I did also put on the markers all the ones that need to have light on them, so I'll know later on when I come back to them, not to accidentally cover them if they haven't germinated yet. Savory is in. Now, these two at the end, I can cover those guys. There we go. And then this one. How do I want to sow this one? How's about this? We'll do a full tray of this one, because chances are we will probably get this tray back. Okay, this one says barely covered, so I think I'm going to sow it on the surface and then just put the perlite under it, over it. Lightly covered. And we'll just see whether or not any of that germinates. That actually took all of the seeds right there, so might have to order some more of those. Okay, and then the borage needs dark, and I want a full tray out of these. Do I use one of these trays or one of those trays? I think I'll use these trays because I definitely cannot put tomatoes in here. Tomatoes get way too big, way too far, way too fast. You guys need a 1/2 inch, so you actually need to be planted deeper. So what I'm going to do is make sure I put in the proper amount of soil, and then I'm not going to hold back on putting some perlite on you. Okay, and because borage is probably something I will sow more than once this year, I'm just going to put 1 per. If I'm not mistaken, I have been told that this plant readily self-seeds itself, which is definitely the kind of plants we are looking for here. Okay, make sure you cover all of the seeds and cover here. There we go. Borage is done. And that is officially all of my plants that I have to do today. That was a ton of plants. I still have 1 full tray. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our seed starting today. We've got 2 weeks before we need to start any more, possibly even 3 weeks. I think I'm going to go for 2 weeks and we'll try it then. But we're going to go ahead and head out, and I've got to clean up my mess. So I will see you guys next time. All right, you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, and you stay shiny. Bye!